Come to today's lesson. In today's lesson, we're going to be looking at rounding off to a certain number of decimal places, and rounding off to a certain number of significant figures. Significant figures. So, for example, if we have a question that says 1 comma 9 8 8 6, and you are asked to round it to two decimal places, you count the number of decimal places. So this is 1 2. So then you look at the next digit. That's the one that decides whether you're rounding up or you're rounding down. So if you're rounding off to the nearest two decimal places, your answer will be approximately equal to 1 comma 9, and you're going to add 1 to 8 to get 9 to two decimal places. If you are asked to round that same number 1 comma 9 8 6 to one decimal place, you're going to count the digits after the comma. So 1, that's the first decimal place. So you look at the next digit, which is 8, and it says you are going to round up. So if you round up here, you're going to get 10. So you can't write 10 there. You have to take that 1 and carry it over to this 1. So you're going to have your answer is 2 comma 0 2 to 1 decimal place. So I'm going to use that same number to, okay, like here, if I say 1 comma 9 8 6, and I'm asked to round it off to one significant figure, to one significant figure, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to count. As long as the first digit is a non-zero, you count it. So here I'm going to round off to the nearest one significant figure, and I look at this one, which is 9, which means I'm going to round up. So if I round up here, I'm going to get my answer is 2 to one significant figure. Okay, if I use that same number 1 comma 9 8 6, and I'm asked to write it correct to two significant figures, so I'm going to count 1 2, and then I look at the next digit, which is 8, and it means we're going to round up. So if I round up, I add 1 to 9 and I get 10, and that 0 I write it in place of 9, and the 1 I carry it over and add it to this 1. So I'm going to get my answer is 2 comma 0, correct to two significant figures. Okay, so here I'm going to use another example that starts with zeros. If I have 0 comma 0 2 5 4, and I'm asked to write it correct to two decimal places, correct to 2 decimal places. I'm going to count the digits after the comma. That's 1, 2, and then I look at 5, and 5 means I'm going to round up. So rounding up, I'm going to get 0, 0, 3, 2 to 2 decimal places, to 2 decimal places. Using that same number, I'm going to find 0,0254 correct to 2 significant figures, correct to 2 significant figures. So when you are looking for significant figures and your number starts with the zeros, these zeros are not significant, so you ignore them. And then you start counting your first significant figure on a non-zero digit, which is 1, 2, and then you look at this number. That's the one that determines whether you're rounding up or rounding down. So these zeros, you only ignore them when you are counting, but when you're writing your answer, you include them. That's 0, 0, and then you say 2, and here 4 means you're rounding down. So if you round down here, you're going to get 0,025 to 2 significant figures. Okay, so this is what I had for you today. Just go through the video, and I'm going to give you the questions that you are going to answer. Just continue practicing, and continue practicing even the topics that we have done earlier, because I'm going to bring a revision that includes all those topics that we have covered so far. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next lesson.